Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I am Herman Green. As cyber attacks on financial institutions become more prevalent, the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, JDIC, is seeking to reassure Jamaicans that their savings are secure. JDIC Chairman John Jackson says the company is also working on technology to prevent attacks from spreading. TVJ's Andrew Laidley has the details.
More Jamaicans are skeptical about putting their money in the bank. This as issues of cyber threats and fraud plague the global financial sector. But the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation argues that if a crisis occurs, most of depositors' monies would be protected.
God forbid, should there be a crisis, whether within the system or a particular institution, that there is an institution that can actually step in to protect the bulk of depositors.
Mr. Jackson says the corporation is in a position to repay the full amount to over 90% of depositors in Jamaica.
Some persons may well think that $600,000 is a small sum, but my understanding, as advised by management, is that $600,000 represents roughly would take care of something like 96 or 98% of depositors within the banking system. And that is very critical. So it means that if there's a crisis, 90% of the persons with deposits will get their money back fully.
Meanwhile, the JDIC chairman says the company is also investing in technology to identify threats and prevent them from escalating.
The objective that we have first is to, if there's a crisis, to prevent the crisis from becoming a major problem, so that it doesn't get to the stage where you have to pay people out, but that you ensure that the system can take care of whatever is there by mergers and acquisitions, as the case might be.
For the Business Day, I'm Andrew Laidley.
Meanwhile, Information Technology Audit and Security Manager at Simtai Consulting, Rory A. Banks, argues that banks shouldn't be pushing customers to use their online services if it isn't reliable.
This isn't an institution-neutral issue, so it can happen to you once you're using the internet banking platform. So the real concern is what controls are in place to protect the customers, because if, as you stated earlier, if you're pushing more customers to use their online platform, how are you going to ensure that there's 100% availability? Because if it's something simple as just to check your online banking to see how much money you have, and you can't guarantee that someone is going to be able to do that whenever they can. That is the real concern here.
Mr. Banks says the most recent incidents at two of Jamaica's major commercial banks is unusual in the IT world. He points out that there is serious cause for concern.
In IT standards, there are availability baselines. So, for example, it's expected to have 99.999% uptime, which equals to less than a minute downtime per year. And worse, if you're having a case where customers cannot access online platforms, their ATMs, not even customer care, then that's even more troubling.
We go down to currency trading as the US dollar ended the day selling for $136.94. The Canadian dollar sold for $104.38. The pound closed the day at $177.12, while the euro sold for $160.21 on average. Oil prices traded lower today. Oil for delivery in October went down by 23 cents to settle at $69.87 a barrel. The JSE index gained 2,096 points, while the junior index lost 6 points. Among the winners today were Blue Power Group, Derrimon Trading, Indies Pharma, Jamaica Stock Exchange, Kingston Properties, Lasco Manufacturing, and Mayberry Investments. Now on the losing side were 1834 Investments, AMG Packaging and Paper, Cargo Handlers, Everything Fresh, Fosrich, General Accident Insurance, and Honeybun. And that wraps up the Business Day. I'm Herman Green. Good evening.